and has many pictures with famous athletes.
Famous athlete.
Like Mike Tyson. Hey, I'm coming in the club with the bitches. Hello, friends, and welcome back to Mr. and Mrs. Redex. Today, we're jumping into rSlash relationship advice because our relationship is just so strong that we thought we could strengthen some other people's relationships. You're welcome in advance.
Also because it's almost Valentine's Day, you know? Let's celebrate the love month.
The love month with my love bug.
Love bugger.
So we'll see how wholesome this turns out. We do want to offer like some quality advice and stuff. Hopefully there's not too much incidental cringe because that's not what we're going for. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and jump right into these stories, questions, whatever they are.
I'm starting to think my boyfriend is really a bad person.
Aww, why would you think that? I guess we'll see. Hi everyone, so my boyfriend's 23 and I'm 22 as well.
Super young.
Super young. We've been dating a long time, over 4 years. You might be growing apart. I originally fell for him because he was such a teddy bear, kind and thoughtful, but the last while he's been miserable, depressed, not in a good place at all. Well, really the last year especially. He's just been a real piece of shit. And I'm not really talking about me. I'm gonna start typing out some examples. For reference, I'm not trying to sound like I'm all great. I think of myself as a compassionate person. I feel empathy deeply, and I am sensitive.
She just said it. She is sensitive. Sensitive people react on almost everything.
Overly sensitive?
Huh?
Overly sensitive?
Not overly sensitive, you know. It's not good if you're not sensitive too. But yeah.
Well, I won't judge her yet.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm just saying.
One of the big things I learned in school is racism, and specifically big issues involving indigenous people. I tried to tell him about things I learned and the horrible things that indigenous people have been through, and he responds with, "Good! Fuck 'em, dirty Indians!" Wow. And he goes on to talk about how they're all drunks and losers. I feel sick when he says this, and I tell him to stop, and that he needs to re-educate himself on the issues and be more kind. And about racism towards black people, he calls them the N-word. And if he sees a video or a movie and a black person is doing something bad, he'll say, "Fucking that word we don't say." But of course, if a white person is doing something, he doesn't bring race into it. And another thing is women. He's made countless jokes about them. He'll be scrolling through TikTok, and if a girl is unattractive or overweight, he'll say something rude and won't find their video worthy. He only watches things with hot girls, and he'll say something that implies, if he doesn't think they're hot, they're not worthy of respect. Basically, He makes jokes that run along the lines of, women are here on this earth to look good for me, and that's it. It makes me fucking sick.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got some issues.
Womanizer.
Yeah. For the next part, I'm going to add the fact that my boyfriend is very overweight himself. Irony.
Sounds fishy.
Yesterday, I showed him a cute couple video I saw on TikTok, and it was two lesbians, and one of them was on the manlier side, and he said, "Ew!" as soon as I showed him. And I said, "What?" And he said, "That's gross!" And I said, "Why?" And he said, "I only like lesbians that look like that." And he pointed to a hot blonde who was kissing another very hot girl. Today, his friends uploaded a video on TikTok of a guy getting caught having sex with a fat chick, and a bunch of guys were recording it. I asked him, why does it matter if she's fat? And I said, does he have her consent to even upload that? And he said, who cares? She's a fat bitch.
Damn, it's so mean.
And I said, are you kidding me? How would you feel if some girl uploaded a video of you having sex with her and everyone was laughing because you're fat? And he says, brace yourself. I'm different. She's a girl. I think this might have been the breaking point for me. He just said it's different because she's a girl, basically reinforcing the fact that girls are here solely to please him, and the fact that he didn't care his friend was uploading without consent. I've been with him so long, I'm disgusted by the way that he is and the things that he says sometimes. He's actually a horrible person. He always says the N-word. He says natives are pieces of shit and fuck them. He's hateful on TikTok to anyone who's different, and I've seen him bully a 16-year-old girl on TikTok. He says horrible things about trans folk. How the fuck did I end up with someone who is hateful like this? What the fuck did I do?
Okay, I want to see how old is this story first. 7 hours ago. I think my first opinion in this is, pandemic hit us just a year ago, and she said they've been dating for 4 years. They could be like, LDR or working most of the time, not together all the time. You get what I mean? And that's the time when she can't keep track of how this guy really is. But right now they've been together almost every day probably because of lockdown or pandemic. And that's the time when she get to learn the most of him.
So you think that he's been this way the entire time?
Yeah. And I think, like she said, he kind of like that before, but the last year, probably that's the time when they're together most of the time. And, you will never really know who this person is until you spend your everyday with them.
And then
right, baby?
The ugly things start to come out.
Yeah. And that's the challenge. It's just a matter of, if you're gonna accept this person as who they really are, or just let it go. And basically you're with him for 4 years, and I'm surprised.
Well, let's see. If they're 22 and 23 now, then they would have been 18 and 19 when they got together.
Yeah.
And that is still like a big phase of change. People are still developing their opinions and stuff. And it sounds to me like he's been radicalized a little bit, especially online in the past 4 years. I don't think that this relationship is going to last. So while I'm not sure if you're trying to help him or if you're just like looking for, should I bail? Because honestly, I think you should bail. I think he's beyond help. But if you're really determined to, then maybe you guys could see a therapist, specifically him, but both of you probably should go together.
I mean, start of relationship, maybe first year is the hardest because that's the time when both of you still have the mask on. And then as the year goes by, that's when the mask on is kind of falling off a little bit. And
yeah, you start farting in front of each other. And
remember?
I remember.
Okay, let's read this comment and see what people think about this story.
The Pizza Carnival says, simplest answer, dump him and run. This boy has no compassion for groups outside of his own, and that includes you. He's clearly a racist and misogynistic, one of which will definitely be used against you at some point in your relationship if you...
You're right. Yeah, keep going.
If you, 1, haven't already experienced it, or 2, don't leave immediately. Seems like he's done little to nothing to show affection or any emotional response in the relationship. Is this really someone that you want to show to your parents, grandparents, friends, etc.? I strongly encourage you to leave this relationship. Best of luck. I'm always available if you need help.
Yeah, I think it's like if he talks like that, he acts like that, and basically he don't value women. So why would you, risk your precious time with this kind of guy? Just if you think that it's not really worth it and he's never gonna change, just let it go, man. It's not the only fish in the ocean, innit?
Not by a long shot. I mean, honestly, I think that this post is kind of like attention-seeking validation stuff because, honestly, who would stick around? Do you really even need to ask at this point? It seems like you've made up your mind.
Yeah,
so if that's the case, then fucking bail. You don't need Reddit to tell you to bail.
Yeah, you're in charge of your own life and your own happiness. Okay, let's move on.
Onward we move.
Yes. My 30M partner, 36F, made a bizarre rant about large penises. I'm so right. Even it's covered, I knew it's penises. When she was on Ambien.
I think it's like a sleep aid or something. So I'm not even sure where to begin. I've been with my partner for 3 years and nothing like this has ever happened. My partner takes 10 milligrams of Ambien every night, but sometimes she'll take 2 pills if she can't fall asleep. She's had really bad insomnia her whole life. When she takes more than 1 pill, sometimes she'll get up and do stuff like cook or watch TV in a half-dream state. I've tried to bring her back to bed, but she gets violently angry if I try to make her do anything while on Ambien. 2 nights ago, she took some Ambien and got up and started cooking. She came back to bed with an egg sandwich and began to eat it. She asked me if I wanted any and I said no. She then proceeded to go into a 10-minute rant about all the large penises she had before. She was a
Oh no.
Yeah, this ain't gonna end well. She was a cocktail waitress at a very popular club in Miami and has many pictures with famous athletes when she was in her early 20s. She kept talking about large penises while eating, and it was strange because she was very calm the entire time, like she was reading an encyclopedia entry or something.
God, I love this.
Anymore. She talked about what they felt like and how they stretched her out to the point.
That's crazy, over the top.
And how they stretched her out to the point where she wasn't sure she'd ever be normal again. And how one time she was double penetrated by the largest penises that she had ever seen, and so on.
I'm wondering if she described it as like, oh, European get the biggest dick, Americans is kind of second on the top. Stuff like that.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't like this. America's number 1, okay?
Yeah. Let's make America great again.
Jesus Christ. Not having fun in this episode. I tried not to listen, but she kept going and going about the penises. I relate to you, OP. Even in this fucking moment, I relate to you. And I hate it too. It was very strange, though, because she didn't talk in an excited manner at all. It's just like she was reading a document or something. She kept saying, oh, you don't know what a huge penis feels like.
This gives me headache.
I didn't bring it up the next morning, but I have to admit that this conversation really disturbed me. I had no idea she had this kind of past, and I don't want to judge her for her past because that doesn't really matter in the here and now. But still, I feel a little upset for some reason, and I'm finding it really hard to cope with this. Can someone tell me what she meant by this? What would possess her to say these things? Was she just making it up because of her sleeping medication?
Okay, yeah, before we judge her or we say anything about this, let's check what other people says about this.
She was drugged up. There's no other reason why she would say these things. I'm sure she would be mortified if she knew what she'd said. Yeah, because she's saying the truth and the truth came out. No. It may be true. It may not be true. It doesn't really matter, but if you need reassurance from her, then you should just ask. Just don't blame or shame or accuse her of anything. That's a very fair and balanced comment.
That's true.
It's a conversation that needs to happen at the end of the day, especially now that she's the one that brought it up, drugged or not. And yeah, the best way to get reassurance is by keeping open communication with your partner.
Communication is the key. The more you communicate, the more you understand each other.
And the more you understand how a gigantic penis feels.
Shut up.
Got him!
She's braver to tell you the story about that because she's drugged and she knows that you know that she's drugged. Is that right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's some part of our life, like experiences, that we don't even know how we could start that conversation with our partner. You get what I mean? Like, oh, what if he found out about this, or what if she find out about this? Like, how would she feel? How would she react? Is she gonna get mad, upset? Is she or he gonna leave me? Stuff like that. And probably that's the time when she feels so relaxed and comfortable, and that's the time when she's trying to open up those kind of things.
That's even presuming that it's real at all.
It is real. I'm a woman too, and this is a woman's story.
But you had a giant penis inside you?
No.
Did it stretch you to the point where
Jesus Christ.
That's so uncomfortable.
This is just just based on being a woman, okay?
All right. Go off.
Women will not talk about huge penises unless it's real. Yeah, exactly. Girls, friends, we talk about our partner's penises. Is your partner's penis big? How big it is? Stuff like that, you know? It's ladies talk. Come on, let's
Let's
move
be
on.
real.
Let's move on.
That's so weird because guys don't really talk about their woman's vagina and shit.
Oh, girls talk about everything.
Like if you're just like a one night hookup or whatever, then okay, we'll talk about like her tits were lopsided and shit. But if you're dating somebody and you're talking to your guy friends and they mention like your wife's pussy or something, then you fucking punch them. Like, hey, don't talk about my wife's fucking pussy. That's mine, not yours.
Yeah, that's the difference between girls, I guess. Now let's move on to the next story. Probably our last one for today, but don't worry, guys. We're gonna give you more tomorrow. Leave us some comment.
My wife loves the comments.
I do love the comments. It really melts my heart, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I'm speechless, Jesus. Last story. I'm 23F, boyfriend is 23M, cheated on me while I was undergoing treatment for cancer. Oh my. Should I still forgive him or break up? This sounds like a story from Darman's story.
I don't even need to read
I
don't even need to read the story. Just break up. What's wrong?
Write down in a comment if you're watching Darman's videos. You know, Darman's. You see, are you familiar with that?
I hope you enjoyed that message.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that message. Stuff like that. This is like the same story as what they showed in Darman. The lady with the cancer and she's undergoing treatment and the husband decided he wants to cheat with the non-cancerous lady. How can I say that?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, he decided he wants to cheat with a non-cancerous lady, something like that, and ended up like having divorce with his wife. And then the wife get over. I mean, if you know the Darman, you would basically relate to this story while we're reading it. Okay? Let's see what happened.
Just when I thought I hit rock bottom with my cancer diagnosis in the middle of a pandemic in my mid-20s, my boyfriend cheated on me. It's like being dragged through the dirt after an already painful fall. He told me, it's a one-time thing. He regretted it in the middle of the act and didn't push through with it. He came clean to me a few days later and repeatedly apologized for his mistake. It was with an acquaintance after a night of drinking with other friends. They did things but did not have actual sex. This happened a few days ago, just as I ended my last chemotherapy session. I'm yet to have my last scan to see if I'm already in remission. I'll have that scan in a few weeks. We had a relatively healthy relationship prior to this. We've been together for 4 years now. He's kind and honest, no manipulation whatsoever. When he came clean, I even thought it was a prank since I couldn't imagine him doing this sort of thing. When I got diagnosed, I gave him the option to break up with me, but he chose to stay. He was there for me throughout the entire treatment and didn't show any signs of dissatisfaction over our relationship. In explaining why he did such a thing, he told me he got flattered that someone showed interest in him.
Oh my.
Bullshit. He also made it clear that this was not about me having cancer and undergoing treatment. I don't know what to do. I'm so lost. I can imagine myself forgiving him, but I'm just not sure I should still get back together. I don't think I should be dealing with something as big as this right now.
So yeah,
Don't stay with him! Don't do it!
let's wrap it up. Value his honesty, but also you gotta respect yourself, Once a cheater is always a cheater. You get what I mean?
Right.
Once somebody cheated on you, we have to move on. Moving on is like respecting ourselves.
I hope you enjoyed that message.
I hope you enjoyed that message. we're not telling story. We're
changing lives.
We're changing lives. And see you on the next video.
I guess a good outro. You should steal that outro.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you learned something from that, guys.
I learned a lot.
You learned a lot. What did you learn?
That this entire subreddit is completely mentally and physically draining.
I know.
I probably don't want to come back here.
I know. I think this is gonna be the last time we're gonna do it. Let us know in the comment section if you still wanna hear us doing this. Or should we go back to because
Earth porn.
yeah, earth porn or something. Yeah. Make some suggestions, guys. We would love that. I would love that. rSlash relationship advice just draining me. My brain is pretty drained right now.
But even if we are drained from this, I hope that you guys were not. I hope you will also like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought about the video as well as what you'd like to see next.
Should we stick on this kind of stories?
No.
I just want to give a shout out to Digiblitz for, shooting us some juice. I get to afford 1 kilo of dark chocolate bar today. Yummy. That's my favorite, dark chocolate. I'm so weak for that. And basically, I'm gonna eat some of them or all of them. Let's see. Yeah, I need it now. My brain is so drained.
We've been doing this for over an hour. I'm probably going to edit it to under 20, 30 minutes.
Thank you so much. Catch you in the next one. God, I'm so lost. Catch you in the next one. Bye. Oh, I need chocolate. Where's my chocolate?